How to own a house 12 ways / ugly truth man channel. With money you buy a building, with love, you make it home. Welcome in today's talk about owning a house. With a contract you can buy 50%, or 25% of a house that your life partner owns. An example I know, a friend has a long-term debt for an apartment, and he get married and his wife bought another apartment with a long-term debt, one will be rented. The debate is that if they broke up, each of them have a property, equal shares. In another situation, a girl bought with debt a house, she get married and the husband moved in, they divorced after 2 years, husband receive a part of the money he contribute to pay her bank debt. There are many facts, but if both of them are working and owning something, the line of who pays what must be discussed before we say, yes I do. The definition of a house is a building for human habitation with 5 facts: security against weather and people or animals, intimacy, place, utilities, and living space, basic needs. Ownership and responsibility, a plot of land or an apartment in a building being part of a community, city, or place. Before check in the list of ideas, owning a roof means liberty and freestyle paid with costs of maintenance, taxes, and respecting laws. The size of the house, the place on earth, and local facts and figures that personalize any living experience. The smallest so-called home, is the cage where poor homeless people from rich cities live in, to the people who own farms and cities. Let's start. The first way is to buy with cash. What can you afford? Owning 100% the place where you sleep and love, makes you a success story, big or small, in a city or in the desert, it's a goal achieved. Especially if the money were yours, not parents' money. The point is, no debt. The business side fact that you can own a house in another city. A family sold an apartment in a big city and built a 10-room hotel in the countryside. The design, like a castle, attracted 50,000 tourists just for photo sessions in 5 years. Listen till the end of the video for the premium investment idea. Having a property, rent it, and from that rent you can pay the rent in the city you want to live. In general, a city with cheaper cost of living. This means you own a house. Not live in it, but you can live anywhere you want, having the passive income produced by the house you own. The second way is to find a lonely old person or couple, who doesn't have children, and you can take care of them and receive the house as legacy, with a contract, or live in the same house with them like an adopted family. You can have single neighbors, colleagues, or no single rich people. Number 3 way is to build it, small baby steps, with your own hands and with time. I bought a land and in 4 years I will finish the house. This way you make a connection with the place where you will live your life, every day, and every brick of emotion, every detail of the house is decided by you. You don't buy a ready-built house. Number 4, is pay with a bank debt. 3 scenarios, a small-term debt, or a long-term debt and your children will pay for the same house, or a long-term debt with the perspective and effort to pay the debt early. You take money for 30 years but have the plan to pay it in 10 years. Number 5 way is your parents' house. Many options. This is the golden nugget. Renovate the attic or basement and transform it in a living space. Building a small house in the garden of your parents. Sell the parents' house and buy other properties. Buy the house from your parents, or pay them monthly rates or inherit the house. Number 6, marry a house. Yes, you can marry someone who owns a house, but you must be special to have this lifestyle. Special meaning that you cannot be lazy husband or wife and live for free in a stranger's house. Check my episode about strangers. Before you met your wife, she was a stranger to you. If things get complicated, you became homeless, you don't own something. Number 7 is finding a property without owner, successors, or inheritors. In some countries is possible. People die and donate houses to churches or charity. Single people make suicide or die unexpected and don't care what happens with their house after they die. Or in abandoned cities, authorities give houses for free for people who want to live there. If you can work on Turnet, you can work in any country you want. Number 8 is having a job where the company gives you a place to live and also a car, for as long you work for them, or like artists who work traveling and working 1 year at a project. You got the idea. Number 9 is the living and owning alternatives. You can live in a trailer, a house on wheels, a tiny house built by you, live in co-living spaces, retirement home, you can rent a hotel room for the rest of your life, even buy one room, building a house tree, or live on a boat, abandoned buildings converted in living spaces, tents, house car, sky tower hostels, night shelters, live above the building or in underground places. Number 10 is to exchange something for a house or living place. With the right idea, you can exchange a products, a car, or service or property with another house or living option. Number 11 is the best of the best. You can pray to God for a house or a living space, have the vision and details, write them and draw your dream house, imagine it, have the hope and work in that direction. Nobody can explain or give a guarantee on how, but it works. Somehow, the dots connect and you can have your dream house. Maybe you must move in another place, take hard decisions, work hard, but it is possible. Number 12 is the dream house and business fact. An old couple was selling the place where they lived for 40 years, but the owner who will buy the house will rent it to the previous owners until they will die. They will pay the rent with the money from selling the house. On the opposite way, if you identify a beautiful house, and you can convince the owners to sell to you their home or move to another house, like house exchange, you bought your dream house. A verse from the Bible, First Book of Samuel chapter 25 is, "And thus you shall greet him, peace be to you, and peace be to your house, and peace be to all that you have." The ugly truth is we are owners as long as we are alive. A friends with faith in God, build his dream home, with an orchard with 83s, raised his kid, a love family, and at age of nearly 60 he emigrated to another country where his wife has her family. He left the house to a friend to maintain the orchard, and the house to his kid who is also in another country. He gave the car and the dog to a neighbor. I ask him, how can you leave everything you build so easy and restart life at age 60? He say, remember my friend, we are passengers, tourists here on earth. We don't take nothing with us in afterlife, everything remains here on earth. Instead of building big empty houses, we should build strong love family moments. God bless you with a house which is perfect for your needs, not with the house you think you need.